Now, there wasn't really any epic or ambiance. The gladiator fight wasn't that bad. I get it was tolerable.
Yeah, it was alright.
The Akati was kind of cool. The big cockroach.
Oh yeah,
From
yeah,
hell.
yeah. The praying mantis.
Yeah, which is another thing, because none of those species in the gladiator fight were native to Genosha.
So how'd they get them?
Yeah, because you never see any Genosians go off planet. You kind of assume they all just kind of stick to their planet. So where did they get them?
They brought them with the Trade Federation. I don't know.
Yeah, there's many ways you could explain this, but still. Like, because obviously none of those, like, the bull guy probably could, but none of those other species would be able to survive on a planet of that scape. So.
Yeah, so after the speeder chase, we get the
epic lightsaber
I'd say
fight.
more anticlimactic. You know, we get the disco fight basically. The only good thing that came out of that fight was seeing Anakin get his arm
I swear
up.
they should have been playing David Bowie during that. Let's dance, dun, dun, dun.
But yeah, so and then Yoda shows up and they try to make him more badass by giving him a lightsaber.
And fail miserably. Yoda doesn't need a lightsaber. He has no. And another thing I've been noticing, when he was in the swamp, he easily lifted Luke's X-Wing out of the swamp. This time he seemed to have trouble even stopping rocks.
And yet this is supposed to be
Yoda should have been great. He should have been just like pawning. Like he should have pwned Count Dooku. Like a noob. Should have noob pawns.
And so after that fight, Count Dooku escapes on his parachute.
Yes, which is another thing. Now, this ship is a blatant ripoff of Star Trek. Now, I don't like Star Trek, but
you're not a big fan.
I'm not a fan of Star Trek. I'm
you can tolerate
a fanboy. I can tolerate it just because at least it didn't screw itself over as badly as Star Wars.
Well,
It screwed itself over enough times, but not as badly as Star Wars.
Anyways, continue.
Now, I don't know which movie it was. I was with a bunch of friends and we were doing a Star Trek marathon. And I can't remember which movie it was, but quite obviously one of the ships in it was exactly the same. Down to a T. Now, I've heard some things that some of the guys that do the special effects on Star Wars and Star Trek are the same guys. Like, supposedly in the new Star Trek movie, you can see R2-D2 amongst the wreckage and the Millennium Falcon, apparently, at some point, too.
I have to rewatch
the new Star Trek movie.
Star Trek.
That's when it's in. I think it's at the part where you see all the wreckage in, on, Vulcan. Planet Vulcan. Or Vulcan, whatever you want to call it. Now, so I don't know whether they were allowed to do this, but yeah.
It's still not right.
No. What other things are there in this movie? Well, we've capped off the story and the characters.
Settings are very bland.
We get a desert planet, a water planet,
a city planet,
and Tatooine and Naboo.
Yeah.
So we get 2 desert planets, and
Earth type planet, city type planet, and
I don't understand why they're making such a big deal of Padme about to get assassinated. I know that Palpatine is from Naboo, and that's why he cares about her, I guess. But she's just a senator. How does one senator impose these huge reprimands, like these she's once again the crawl contradicts itself by saying that Padme is going to vote on the thing for the Grand Army, but I swear in the crawl, it makes it seem out like she's supporting it, but as soon as she gets on planet, I don't want this army of the Republic. This is horrible. We can't do this. Why? What's wrong with having an army? Canada's got an army, and we're relatively peaceful. We're peacekeepers. We got guns.
Yeah.
The States, on the other hand, They got guns, and they're like oil. So I guess I don't know. I when I was watching this movie, I kind of get the whole sense of the Roman Empire kind of thing. The whole idea that everyone's trying to splinter off after the first Supreme Chancellor kind of got axed from being Supreme Chancellor, and the new guy's coming in, and eventually it turns into the Empire. I guess it seems kind of a little bit like the Roman Empire, more so, and even more in the original movies. Actually, if you think about it, because it's the whole idea of that, like they got their rebellion kind of going on. Like it's kind of cool if you think about it that way. But so eventually Jar Jar is the one that gives the chance, or somehow one senator, Jar Jar, the retarded one, who gets fellow delegates wrong and reverses the first two letters, Dello Feligates.
He actually says that?
Yes, he says Dello Feligates instead of fellow delegates. This is the guy you're going to allow to give the Supreme Chancellor emergency power?
Oh, this new army?
If I was a senator, I'd be like, no, I don't know what that guy's saying, but I don't like it. Like, once again, I can go for the whole thing with, we don't understand what R2-D2 or Chewbacca says in the original movies, but we have a better idea what they're getting at than Jar Jar, who speaks English. Or, as in the movies, Galactic Basic. Now, so he gives the Chancellor emergency power.
Which is something that I was wondering. I was like, wait a minute. I like, when I was watching, I was just like, wait a minute. Jar Jar is technically the cause for the Chancellor getting the army?
Yes, I've brought this out many times to friends. It's Jar Jar's fault that every single Jedi died. That they got wiped out. It's Jar Jar's fault.
Dun, dun, dun.
So, the Phantom Menace, who, like, they never really tell us who the Phantom Menace is in the first movie. It's Jar Jar. Jar Jar is the Phantom Menace. He's the true villain in this movie. It's all Jar Jar's fault.
I wonder if everybody kills me. Anyways, I think we should be wrapping this up.
Yes. So, as you can see, we had a lot more to complain about in this movie. Once again, to make sure this isn't a rant, I'm going to give this movie a negative, whatever you feel like.
I second that.
This movie was horrible.
Boring.
It didn't need to exist. We could have figured enough things out with the original trilogy.
You've heard of open-ending movies? Well, the original trilogy was an open
yes.
start. We would have preferred to have come up with our own ways.
I wouldn't have minded if they just kept on the books.
Yeah, even that.
And the other part is this movie almost seemed to bring up more plot holes than the original trilogy did. So, I guess that's a good way of ending it.
Yep.
This movie doesn't need to exist. It's a negative, whatever you feel like, however crappy you think it is. That's how crappy it is. I don't see how anyone can like this movie.
There's probably a few people out there that actually like it.
Little kids that didn't get to grow up with Star Wars.
Probably.
I want to make a request of all you parents to be, or anyone who watches this video, when the day you have kids, let them watch 4, 5, and 6 first. Don't let them watch 1, 2, and 3 even. Don't even buy them. Don't give George Lucas the money.
He doesn't need it.
This movie was horrible.
You said that multiple times.
Yeah, and I'm just really making sure my point is across. I don't think I'll ever watch this movie again. I am probably going to destroy it in a few days. I'm going to break the disc. I'm never going to watch it again. I probably will have to watch episode 3 one more time.
Yeah. But 3, unlike 2 and 1, is somewhat bearable.
At least a lot of things exploded.
Yes.
But even then, that causes the effect I like to call too much explosions, not enough crashes. The whole idea of everything needs to explode, I don't necessarily like. I love action movies, but I don't think everything needs to explode. When something crashes into something, I don't want it to explode. I just want it to crash. There could be a little fire in the corner, but it just can crash. Doesn't.
But we will save that for next time.
Yep.
I don't know when that'll be. I don't think it'll be next week. We'll probably take a couple weeks off.
Yes. Once we review episode 3, we will be getting on to episodes 4, 5, and 6. But those may take a while because I'm hunting down the VHSs and I'm trying to hunt down a VHS player. So they may take a little while to come out, but I want to watch them in their original quality. I want to watch them without the crappy CGI. I want to watch them where Han shoots first and doesn't somehow go. What? He moves his head without moving his neck.
Oh, okay.
And he dodges a laser at point blank range. That is impressive. And impossible. It's impossible to dodge a bullet at point blank range, much less a laser.
But again, we will get into that in our later review.
So well, I'm 42 from Screw Attack as a G1 from Screw Attack,
and I'm Beardmaster180 from YouTube.
And
we thank you for watching and look forward to more videos coming in the near future.
Yep. This video is disappointing me for the last time.